The absurdity of what is happening under Donald Trump's watch within the former hallowed halls of the FBI just reached a new level. A level that has caused a news panel, including a New York Times legal analyst, to break down in laughter and make a dire prediction about one of his key cronies. Is it a comedy or is it a tragedy? I'll let you decide as I break it down next. I'm Dan, and welcome to another Occupy Democrats Report. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the daily comedy tragedy that surrounds Trump and his merry band of misfits. And speaking of misfits, the spotlight of this story is on FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino, who as a conspiracy-loving podcaster was perfectly qualified to hold one of the top law enforcement positions, right?
Just hold. Karate Man holds.
So what could go wrong? Let's begin with today's MS Now panel exploring the recent developments in the D.C. pipe bombing investigation just before they descend into laughter and make a prediction about his future.
To determine the motive of the Virginia man who was arrested this week, accused of planting pipe bombs outside the DNC and RNC headquarters in Washington, D.C., 30-year-old Brian Cole Jr. disclosed that he had already spoken with FBI agents for 4 hours. MS Now has learned that not only did Cole confess to agents that he planted the bombs, but also that he's expressed support for President Trump and believed the 2020 election was stolen from him. U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, Jeanine Pirro, told ABC News that Cole told investigators he was, quote, disappointed in the election results and that he was also disappointed with both parties. And investigators also found social media posts in which the suspect appeared to express anarchist leanings, complicating their efforts to determine a clear motive. And there are still other lingering questions, like why it took almost 5 years for the FBI to connect the dots in the case to make this arrest.
And here's the moment they break over the comedy of it, while at the same time predicting tragedy for Bongino's career trajectory.
Joining us now, Glenn Thrush, New York Times correspondent covering the Justice Department. So, Glenn, thank you very much for being here. So we can't talk about the pipe bomb suspect and the whole pipe bomb situation without talking about one Dan Bongino, who I am, I guess, thrilled to see is still employed at the FBI. I want to play a little mashup of his past and present comments about the whole pipe bomb thing. Watch this.
There is a massive cover-up because the person who planted those pipe bombs, they don't want you to know who it was because it's either a connected anti-Trump insider or this was an inside job. Those bombs were planted there. This was a setup. I have zero doubt.
I was paid in the past, Sean, for my opinions. That's clear. And one day I'll be back in that space. But that's not what I'm paid for now. I'm paid to be your deputy director, and we base investigations on facts. We evolve. As information and new inputs come out, we can produce different outputs because that's what we believe in. We believe in facts.
Glenn? I mean, so when I was a podcaster, I was paid to do this. Now that I'm your deputy director, I'm paid to do this. Make it make sense, because
I'm afraid I'm going to have to leave. I have no way of possibly making it. Look, I mean, like, basically what he said is that everything that he said prior to becoming deputy director of the FBI was for money and popularity and to improve his standing in the MAGA community, to which he will presumably soon return. You know, some of our reporting and some MS reporting has shown that Bongino, who has gotten into fights with everybody in the administration. He tore into Susie Wiles, the chief of staff, and Susie Wiles' friend, Pam Bondi, the attorney general, a few months back, and that has earned the scorn. So he is very likely to be gone by mid-January. But anyway, the bottom line here... By mid-January is what we're hearing. The bottom line, but it could shift. Trump makes the decisions and everything, whether or not people come or go. But this illustrates a problem that these guys, Kash Patel, the FBI director, and Bongino, podcasters who've turned into senior government officials. The problem is they promoted these conspiracy theories. The granddaddy of them all is the Epstein case. And now that they're in power, they have a more quotidian task, and the material that they're uncovering in no way supports their conspiracy theories. So what do they do now?
It's almost like it's bad to lie when you period.
But
period.
Can we stay on Bongino for a second?
Yes, please. Do we have to?
I do feel like he is the one administration official here, though, when I'm parsing his year of public statements, who's sort of taken a truth serum. I mean, he pushed back on Pam Bondi because he felt like she was lying. He was
about the Epstein files.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's not 100% clear. He pushed back on Bondi because he felt the optics were awful.
Yesterday, Trump received a made-up peace award from FIFA, the World Soccer Association, because sure, why not? And since he loves shiny objects, I would like to award him with the Dumpster Fire Medal of Honor, not only for his own body of work, but for the team he has assembled to do his bidding. It's a clown car of absurdity, hypocrisy, and dysfunction. Bongino appears to be the Trump team member who is on the shakiest ground these days because of comments like these.
You know, I don't know if you remember this. This is before you became the deputy FBI director. You put a post on X right after this happened. And you said there's a massive cover-up because the person that planted those pipe bombs, they don't want you to know who it is because it's either a connected anti-Trump insider or an inside job. You said that.
You know, listen, I was paid in the past, Sean, for my opinions. That's clear. And one day I'll be back in that space. But that's not what I'm paid for now.
Unlike the others who have adopted Trump's style of just powering through every question without being tethered to logic, history, or the truth, he often looks like his inner voice is screaming, yeah, I know this sounds laughable, but this is what I signed up for. And for that reason, I hope someone has been keeping his podcast seat warm.